Okay, good morning. I am still waiting for my computer to verify that I'm on live. Okay, I think I am now. So good morning, everybody, or whatever time of day it is for you right now. So today I wanted to delve into the sacral chakra. And I've been feeling like, sorry, my cat is distracting me because she's wanting to get out of the door. But, oh, and she did get out. Okay. I guess I'll just let that be. Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. I got her back in. It's my cat, Jazzy. Oh, hey, Adelicia. All right, so this morning, I first want to start by saying I hope that everybody is doing well. I know there's a lot of different variations on that, and I know that for me, on a physical level, I'm grateful that I am doing well, and but on an emotional level, things are always up and down and up and down. So that's why I wanted to focus on the sacral chakra today, because the sacral chakra is about movement, it's about emotions, it's about creativity, and it's really bringing our awareness to our body as a vessel for the movement of the life force energy within us. So we want to keep that vessel clear so that the energy can move. And so today I'm going to do a short little centering / meditation followed by a yoga flow. So I hope that you'll join me for those. And it really does help. I'm a therapist and a yoga teacher, and so I'm fascinated in the way that the mind and the body and the emotions and the spiritual aspect of our being all intersect. And I find that yoga is a great experience to weave all those together. So let's just start with, let's just take a breath together. So find your grounded seat wherever you are. And just let your shoulders roll back. And take a big breath in through your nose, imagining the breath moving all the way up to the crown of your head. And then as you breathe out, allow the breath to move all the way down to your sit bones, to the earth. And take another breath in, lifting all the way up to the top. And then just let your breath move all the way back down to your sit bones. And then just take a moment to bring some awareness to the place on your body that's connecting to the earth, to your belly, your shoulders, your chest, your head. And just kind of notice if there's any place on the body, any sensation that is calling for your awareness. So it could be a pain sensation, an aching sensation, a tingling. Just kind of notice anything that wants to get your attention in your body. And without trying to create a story around it, just kind of notice it, and maybe even send a breath into that area. And then you can just open your eyes whenever you're ready. Our emotions speak to us through sensations in our body. So when we feel anger or when we feel sadness or grief, it shows up in a bodily sensation. And a lot of times, we don't know that unless we are actually looking for that. My cat is scratching the door again. So we don't know if we're angry. We're just like, I'm angry at, and we project what we think we're angry at in the external world. So and so is making me angry, or this situation is making me angry. But what I've found over the past few weeks, I've been working with this, is to bring the awareness back into my body, into the sensation that I feel. So right now my cat is scratching at the door and I feel aggravated that that's happening. So I'm tuning into my body and seeing where that sensation is. So rather than jumping off and getting mad at my cat right now, I am more focused on where that energy might be showing up in my body. And so when we welcome in our feelings and acknowledge them through feeling the sensations, then that allows them a place to be. So our emotions want to tell us something, and if we welcome them in and acknowledge them, then they can give us the message that they want us to have, and then they'll move through us eventually. So instead of pushing away, like right now, pushing away the feeling of irritation and aggravation that I have for my cat, I'm going to welcome it into my experience. And I'm just going to allow it to be there. Because whatever we push away actually when we push something away, it begins to control us. So if I was pushing that feeling away, it begins to control me. If I allow it in, then it becomes a part of my experience because it's already happening. So maybe I can do something to stop it, maybe I can't, but it's already happening, so I'm just going to welcome it in. And so what I would like to recommend or to experiment with is whenever you do feel an emotion, which I'm sure a lot of them are coming up for you right now, focus in on the bodily sensation of it. So not creating a story like, oh, this must mean this and da 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 da, but just focus in, oh wow, I'm feeling angry and that feels like tightness in my chest. Or I'm feeling nervous and that feels like butterflies in my stomach. So whatever the emotion is, just feel it in the body and allow it to be there. And so we're going to take that into our yoga practice today. And we are going to, rather than tuning out our emotions, we're going to actually welcome them into our experience, onto our mat with us, into our bodies. All right, so let's start. You can go to your mat. And I'm going to move my microphone. I think I was just on mute. So a little technical difficulties today, but hopefully you can hear me. If you can't hear me, please type something in the comments to let me know. Okay, so just come to your seat and find a tall spine like you did before. And focus on grounding your sit bones down, grounding your legs down towards the earth, and then lifting up through the spine. You can just take a roll of the shoulders, loosening up the neck and the heart area. And turn your palms facing up. And you can just close your eyes here. And I'd like to read you a poem that I feel like really encapsulates what I've been presenting this morning in a beautiful way. It's called The Guest House by Rumi. This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival. A joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So as you breathe here, notice any sensations in your body. Notice any emotions that you might be experiencing right now. And imagining yourself as this house. Welcome in whatever shows up in your experience right now. So imagine that you're opening the door, maybe the door to your sacral chakra. You're opening that door, allowing that experience, that emotion to come on in. And breathe with that emotion. So we're going to allow space in our bodies for that emotion to be here, there, wherever it is in your body. And we're going to also allow it, if it's ready to leave, it can at any time. The windows are open. And we're going to use that emotion to inform and infuse into our practice. So you can slowly open your eyes and bring some movement back to your body. And bring yourself to a child's pose on your mat. So take your knees nice and wide, big toes together. Give space in between your knees for your torso to fold downwards. Your hips are opening up. Hands are reaching towards the front of your mat. And let your forehead rest on the mat. As you breathe in, imagine the back of your body opening up. And as you breathe out, you're going to ground the places on your body that are touching the earth down. So inhale, opening up the back of the body, back of the heart. And exhale, grounding down. One more breath like that. On your next inhale, shift yourself up into a tabletop. You can line yourself up with your hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. We're just going to start with some cat-cows here. So on your inhale, you're going to you're going to lift your heart, tilt the tailbone up. On your exhale, you're going to push into the earth and round the spine. So again, we're welcoming in whatever sensations or experiences or emotions that are in the body. And you might feel different ones as the body begins to open up. Breathe in. Breathe out. I notice for myself as I lift and open the chest and the throat area, I feel a sensation of opening there. And so I wonder why, or I notice that maybe before it was a little tense and tight and closed in. I give it some space, breathe out. And we're going to take it into a more fluid motion here, circling the hips around and down towards the heels and then back up to all fours. And you can bend your elbows. So before it was more of a straightforward linear pose, this I want to be more like a watery pose. So the sacral chakra is about the element of water. And so we want to bring that fluidity and movement into our bodies, and our bodies being the vessel for our energy. We want the energy to be able to flow unobstructed. And you can change directions. So I'm just feeling into my hips here too. I have a lot of tightness in the hips, and that is the area of the body that is governed by the sacral chakra. So maybe you notice that one of your hips or both of your hips are pretty tight. Maybe you can just take an extra breath into that area. And just come find one more circle. And come back to all fours. Tuck your toes under. And you're going to push your hands strongly into the mat and lift your knees about an inch. So you'll feel your core begin to fire up here. Just take another breath. And on your exhale, you're going to keep the knees bent and push the hips back to a modified down dog. So bent knee, down dog. And you can shake your head, make it nice and loose. Then pedal your heels, one and then the other towards the earth. So imagining yourself as more watery. The legs, get a nice bend, open up the back of the legs, let the energy flow. And as you inhale, shift yourself forward to a high plank. And then take your knees down to the earth and sit back into a child's pose. Take a full breath in, open the back of the body. Exhale, ground down. On your inhale, you're going to shift yourself forward. You're going to kind of come to I don't know what this would be called, but a modified plank maybe, and lower your chest down towards the earth. On your inhale, you're going to lift yourself up into a cobra. Elbows draw in, heart opens. And on your exhale, you're going to lift yourself up onto your knees and take your hips back towards your heels. Use the inhale. This time you're going to make it more of a slithery movement. I don't know if that's a word, but it should be. On your inhale, you're going to slither forward. And you can use your forearms here to give you support and stability until you come forward onto your hands. Lift the heart. And then exhale, take your hips back. towards your heels. So we're imagining ourselves as a wave here. Inhale, come forward, lift up. Exhale, shift your hips back. Take 2 more like this on your own breath. And if this is too much, you can always come to a tabletop, back to a child's pose. And then on your next breath, just come back to your child's pose, grounding yourself down. Take a full breath in. Pause at the top. And exhale, release. Inhale, shift yourself up to all fours. Then you're going to step your right foot in between your hands. So you're going to come to a low lunge here. You want to square your hips, draw the inner thighs together. And we're going to bring this into a little bit of a fluid flow. So on your inhale, you're going to pull your heart forward into your low lunge. And on your exhale, you're going to shift your hips back into a half Hanuman. Inhale, come forward, lift the heart, and exhale, shift back. Inhale forward, and exhale back. This time we're going to stay in the low lunge position. Plant your left hand to the earth, right arm reaches up to the sky for a twist. And you can stay like this. If you want to come for more of an opening, you can bend your back knee, reach back and clasp your foot. Breathe in and breathe out. Release your right hand, take it back down to the mat. And you're going to curl your back toes under, lift your back knee, and we'll come to a runner's lunge here, heart forward, breathe in. And on your exhale, you're going to shift the hips back. And you want to straighten your right leg as much as possible. You're still in the ball of the back foot. You can even lift your right toes if that's available for you. So inhale, come to your runner's lunge. And exhale, shift it back. Move with your breath. One more, inhale. Exhale. Inhale back to your runner's lunge. Your left hand will plant down, right arm reaches up for a twist here. This time your left heel is pushing back to the wall behind you and you're gazing up towards your right thumb. Breathe in and breathe out. Right hand comes to the earth, the outside of the right foot, and you can bend your left knee here, and you're going to step forward. Maybe you take a couple steps, or maybe step all the way forward into a fold. And just come to a ragdoll, hanging ragdoll here, and sway yourself side to side. So coming back to that watery element, let your head hang. And just notice any sensation that shows up in the body. Welcome it in. Acknowledge it. And then take your hands to the shins. Come halfway up. Lengthen the spine. And on your exhale, fold forward. Release. Plant your feet down into the earth. Inhale, arms reach up. Come up over your head. And exhale, back down to your forward fold. This time you're going to step your the right foot back. And come into a low lunge on the left. And we're going to take the same flow here. So on your inhale, you're going to pull your heart forward. And on your exhale, you're going to shift your hips back. Inhale, come forward. Exhale back. One more. Come back to your low lunge. Right hand plants down, left arm reaches up for a twist. And you can stay here or bend the back knee, reach back for your right foot. Push your foot into your hand, open up the heart, and breathe. And then release. Take your left hand back down to the earth. You're gonna come forward to a runner's lunge. So you tuck the right toes under, right knee lifts. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, shift your hips back. And you can lift your toes if that's available, straightening the left leg. Inhale, come forward. And exhale, shift back. And keep moving with your breath. And you may notice that one side feels drastically or maybe slightly different than the other. Last one. On your inhale, come to your runner's lunge. Plant your right hand down. Left arm reaches up for a twist. And you're pushing back through the right heel here. Look up at your thumb, breathe in. Exhale, left hand to the earth. Bend your right knee. And then step forward, maybe one step, maybe a bunch of steps, till you get to your forward fold. And just hang in your ragdoll here. You can bend your knees. And I'm gonna turn around. We're gonna do some circles here. So you're gonna feel really grounded in your feet. You're gonna bend your knees. And on your inhale, you're gonna circle around to the right, coming all the way up. And then side bending over to the left, coming back down to that ragdoll fold. So we're just making some circles here. You can go as fast or as slow as you would like. I don't recommend going super fast. That would probably not feel good. But just take your time here and notice what shows up in the body when you open up through the side body. So you're creating space. You're seeing what shows up. One more time. And then switch directions. And if you've had enough, you can just come to your ragdoll. Notice what happens if you bend your knees more or if you side bend more. And we'll meet in ragdoll. Let your hands come down to the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up. Reach the arms up to the sky. Slight little back bend here. Imagining there's a string pulling your heart up. So you're not collapsing in the low back, you're lengthening up through the heart. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. And step it back to your high plank. Inhale and exhale. So here, this is a plank is a linear pose. So we're gonna practice being nice and strong here. But strength does not mean rigid and tight. So we're going to be grounded and strong, but still allow the breath to move. And we're not clenching any muscles that aren't necessary. So like the forehead or the jaw are not really needed to hold this pose up. So see if you can relax in this strength. Breathe in Breathe out. Inhale. Downward facing dog. You can bend your knees. I like to bend my knees when I'm doing Sacral Chakra, watery flow. Bend my knees and then come back to downward facing dog. Pedal it out. And just notice the right and the left hip again. So our right side is our masculine side. It is the energy. We both have masculine and feminine energy within us. The masculine is about taking action and doing. So lift your right leg up. And on your exhale, you're going to bring your knee in towards your nose and step your right foot in between your hands. So this is the masculine side. You're in your runner's lunge. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, breathe out. You're going to lift your arms up into a crescent lunge here. And breathe out. Inhale. Open up to warrior two. So you can gaze over your right middle fingernail and breathe. So when our right side, our masculine side, is balanced, we take action based on our intuition. We're not afraid to move forward towards what we want, what we imagine, what we desire. Lower your left hand, flip your right hand up, and reverse it back. So it might be interesting to just note which hip feels more or less sensation. Breathe in. And if you get any messages on that while you're practicing, just kind of take note. Breathe in. And breathe out. You're going to take your right hand to your right thigh. Left arm reaches up and over for a side angle. And we're going to take that into a flow. You're going to keep the feet nice and grounded so that your upper body can flow. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, extend. And you can sweep the arms so they don't have to be rigid. You can sweep them. Watery arms like seaweed. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, let's take the hands to the mat. You're going to be back in your runner's lunge. Step your right foot to meet the left. Lower your knees down to the mat. Lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, lift up, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Curl your toes under, hands right underneath the shoulders. You're going to lift yourself up to a high plank and push it back to a downward facing dog. Take a breath in and a breath out. Keep breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, lift your left leg. So left side of the body is the feminine. Draw the knee in towards the nose, heel towards your glute, and step it forward to a runner's lunge. Breathe in, heart forward, and breathe out. Inhale, arms sweep up in your crescent lunge. Breathe in and breathe out. You're going to open it up to a warrior two. I'm going to shift around. So you're in your warrior two. Breathe. Inhale, reverse. And exhale, extended side angle. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. You're going to move this in a flow here. Breathe in. Breathe out. So the left side is our intuition. It's our receiving side. So this is the side that is able to tune in to the bigger picture. One more breath here. And this side informs the masculine. Take your hands down to the mat so that the masculine can take action based on the intuition. Breathe in, lower the knees, come all the way down to your belly. Inhale, lift up, cobra. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes under, lift up, high plank. Push back, downward facing dog. And then pedal your heels. So the masculine and feminine is very important for us to have balance in our body, in our system. So one side might be tighter or overused. You might notice that in your body. Take a full breath in and out. Look to your hands and step forward to a forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Lift up. And exhale, come to your mountain pose. So stand at the top of your mat. Having wardrobe problems. So stand at the top of your mat, palms at the heart center. Feel your feet grounded and connected to the earth. Then take your hands down by your sides. And just tune in to the body. Notice what sensations you might be feeling, what emotions might have arisen from your practice. And imagine yourself open and welcoming to the experience, whatever it is right now. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And step back into a downward facing dog again. Take a full breath in. Lion's breath out, tongue to chin. Clear out any stagnant energy. Breathe in. Breathe out. Shift forward, lower your knees to the mat. And so from your tabletop, we're going to come into some hip openers here. So you're going to take your right knee and cross it over your left. And if this is not available for you, I'll show you a variation. So your right knee's in front of your left. You're going to splay your feet out, so it gives you a little bit of space for your hips. And you're going to shift your hips back here. So I'm just going to turn forward so you can see. Okay, so you'll flex your feet and draw your inner thighs together and find a comfortable place for your hips here. And you want both of the hips on the mat. If one is up here, then you'll want to modify. So I'll show you the modified version in a second. From this position, you're going to lengthen up, keep the feet flexed, and you'll begin to fold forward. And if you find you need more intensity, you can shift your shins so they're more parallel with the front edge of your mat and fold forward. If this is not available for you, if you can't get your knee down, you can place a block here or a blanket. Or you can cross your ankles in front of each other for a comfortable seated pose, or it may not be comfortable to you depending on your hips. And you're going to just lengthen here and forward fold. So just find, and it doesn't matter which variation you choose, but you want to be able to find an opening in that right hip. And once you do find that edge, you can stay there and breathe. I'm going to switch back to the other variation. And just notice the sensations that come up. So they may not even be related to your hips. They might be something else in the shoulders or the jaw. Just kind of notice and be with whatever shows up. Breathe. And again, just notice if the body begins to relax a little bit more, you can come forward a little bit more. And if your body wants to, if your body's like bored or really wants to get out of it, see if you can just stay for a couple more breaths. Sometimes that boredom can be covering up something that an emotion that might be just beneath the surface that we haven't accessed yet. So it tries to get us out of there before it can come up. But let's just try to breathe into it. And then slowly begin to walk yourself back up. And we're going to come into a Janu Sirsasana. So your right leg will extend. You can kind of shift it out after you've done that Gomukhasana pose, the cow face pose. So you're in your Janu Sirsasana. You're going to press your sit bones down, lengthen up through the crown of your head, and lift your arms so that your heart is in line with your right foot. You're going to lengthen up, and on your exhale, you're going to fold forward. Breathe in and breathe out. Listen to the flow of your breath. So connecting with the flow of our breath helps us to connect with the flow of our life. And our life energy is naturally creative. So when we give space for that to come in, we allow our creativity to move through us. Now take your right forearm to the inside of the right leg and lift your left arm up, taking a little twist here, pushing the right forearm into the right leg, opening up through the heart. Breathe. And you're going to come back so that your heart is in line with your right leg. And we're going to lift so you're going to come back up to your seated pose. We're going to do a little flow here. On your inhale, you're going to lift your left arm up. On your exhale, you're going to fold forward to the outside of the right foot. Inhale, lift up. On your exhale, take your left hand behind your hips, and you're going to push your hips up and forward for a heart opener. And then lower your hips back down. Inhale, lift the left arm up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. Take your left hand behind your back, open up the heart. Sit it back down. Let's take a couple more like this on your own breath. One more. And come back to your Janu Sirsasana pose. Just take both legs out in front of you. You can shake out your legs. Ground your sit bones down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, heart towards your feet. Lengthen. And bend your elbows, folding down. Breathe. One more breath here. Slowly come back up. You're gonna take your feet onto the mat. Hands come behind your hips. Lift up to a reverse table. Inhale and exhale. Breathe in. And then lower your hips back down. And we're going to cross the ankles, roll over your shins, come back to your downward facing dog, and just pedal it out. And just notice, after that one side, just notice how the body feels. Take a breath in. Lion's breath, clear it out, tongue to chin. Inhale, come forward to your tabletop. This time you're going to take the left knee in front of the right. If you're coming to this variation, you're going to splay your feet out away from your hips and sit yourself back. If you're in the cross-legged position, you can just come there. So this is cow face pose. You're going to squeeze the inner thighs together. Maybe you can take your hands onto the earth, push down, squeeze the inner thighs together, and then sit yourself back down. Nice and long spine, breathe in. And on your exhale, you're going to fold forward. And just find your breath here. So what is coming up for you right now? Just notice. And without attaching yourself to a story, just acknowledge the sensation, the emotion that you feel in the body. Use your breath. And you might find on an exhale you can go a little bit deeper. One more breath here. Walk yourself back up. This time you'll straighten the left leg, right knee bends, right foot comes into the left thigh. Inhale, arms reach up, heart is in line with the left foot, and exhale, fold forward. And just breathe here. What would it be like to welcome in whatever shows up knocking at your door? Rather than resistance, you can meet it with openness. And take your left hand to the inside of the left leg. And take the right arm up for the twist and breathe. And come back up to your seated pose. This time we're going to come into the flow, sweeping the right arm up Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift up. Take the hand behind your hips and sweep the left arm back. Open up and lower your hips back down. Breathe in and out. Inhale and exhale. Move with your breath, a couple more. Last one. And lower your hips back down. Shake your feet out into a staff pose. Your legs are nice and long. And then just lower yourself onto your back. And take a full body stretch here. Inhale, open up the front of your body. Exhale, let the back of the body soften into the earth. Inhale. Exhale. And walk your feet in towards your hips. Arms down by your sides. We're going to come into a bridge pose. So push your feet into the earth, lift the hips up, and interlace your hands underneath your hips. So you're going to imagine the inner thighs spiraling down. Feet are pushing into the earth. Shoulder blades are drawing together, creating an opening in the front of the body, allowing the energy to move from the root chakra, the feet, into the hips, into the belly, the heart, the throat. Let that energy collect there. Breathe. One more breath in. Release your hands, lower it down. Now you're going to take your feet, push them down, take your hands underneath your hips. We're going to come to a fish pose. So legs are straight, feet are pushing into the earth. You can prop yourself up on your forearms and tilt your head back. Now imagine all that energy that was built up into the throat chakra is released here. Breathe in. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. And lower yourself down. Place your hands. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. The left side, the feminine, hug that in. Your inner knowing. Your ability to receive. And then take it across the body for a twist. Clearing out any stagnant energy, just like wringing out a towel here. And shift it back to center, switch sides. Right knee comes in, left leg extends. So this is your masculine side, your ability to go out into the world, to take action on the emotions that you feel from a conscious place. Breathe in. Breathe out. Take that across the body for a twist. Inhale. And exhale. And then come back to your back into your final resting pose, which is called Shavasana, pose of surrender. So you let your feet flop open. You can shimmy your shoulders together. Actually push your head into the mat, shimmy your shoulders together, and then let your head come back down to neutral. Let the arms lay out beside you with a couple inches in between your body and your arms. And then use the breath to create a cycle, like a wave of energy in the body. And just imagine the breath kind of like water swishing through, clearing out any stagnant energy. Follow the breath. Take 2 more cycles of breath, clearing everything out from the core to the edge of the fingertips, swishing, washing away any stagnant energy, clearing out your house. Begin to bring some movement into your fingers and toes. You can make your way onto your right side. Take a moment and connect with your breath, with your body. And make your way to a seat of meditation at the top of your mat. So just like when we started, sitting up nice and tall, imagining yourself as a house, the foundation, your sit bones, your legs are connecting down into the earth. You've just swept through and cleared out any stagnant energy, any cobwebs, to make room to welcome in whatever needs to show up for you in your life. So you can consider your yoga practice like a good house cleaning. Take a breath in and a breath out. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, take your hands to your heart center and bow your chin toward your heart, bowing your mind towards your heart, your inner wisdom. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. And in honor of our sacral chakra, we're going to take the hands down to below the belly button, creating like a V shape or a inverted triangle right here on the sacral chakra. And we're going to sing together one time the seed sound for the sacral chakra, which is VAM, V-A-M. So you can either sing along or just feel the vibration of it. Take a breath in. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. And may this practice help us to remember that we have the choice to stay open to whatever our experience is, whatever that emotion is, whether it's happy or sad or painful or joyous. Allow ourselves to be open and invite it in, and see what it has to say and see what gifts that it has for us. So thank you so much for joining me this morning, or whenever you're joining. If you are watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel to get more chakra videos, more chakra yoga videos, and let me know if there's anything that you would like to see, any chakra that you'd really like to tune into, or aspect of the chakras that you'd like to maybe do a yoga flow or a talk on. I'd be really interested to hear what you guys have on your minds and in your hearts. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you next time. Namaste.